For a long time, I thought that if my money felt stressful, that meant that I was bad with money, either undisciplined, overspending, or doing something wrong. And I wasn't. And realizing that changed everything. But before I got there, the question I was asking myself was, why does my money feel stressful? Why does it feel annoying when I'm not overspending? I'm second guessing purchasing, not because I have a spending problem, but I'm kind of like feeling behind, even though I have good income. Or, I'm feeling like I should be better. Nothing really felt out of control. I just never really felt like I was caught up, if that makes sense. I think what was really happening was that the nature of my job, being a temp dental hygienist, means that I have uneven income. I work on multiple apps, so I'm getting paid multiple times a week, but even still, you are at the mercy of the offices. I have shifts scheduled in 2 days until and through March, but each one of those offices could cancel my shift. And since it's before 24 hours, there's literally no penalty to them, but I'm the one who would be left out with no shift if there's nothing else out there or nothing else out there that I want. So it's super duper uneven. Another thing that is definitely in my control that I've done to cause the stress and annoyance is when I get money coming in and I go into my budgeting system and I assign money to go certain places, whether it's my emergency fund or my Roth IRA, but I don't actually take the next step and take that money out of my main account and put it into the Roth IRA or put it into the emergency fund. That just exacerbates the stress and makes things feel even more out of control. There's this delay that is, again, all my fault between my intentions and then actually executing those intentions. Another thing is that there's a lag between just not even transferring money from my, high yield savings or to my high yield savings or my retirement accounts, but just kind of like a little bit of inside baseball. I get paid on Tuesday and Thursday, but I don't film my YNAB budget with me videos until either Friday or Saturday. When I come home on Thursday after work, yes, I could film, but honestly, I'm not there yet. I guess I'm not a good enough YouTuber. I don't know what you want to call it, but after a long day of work, I don't feel like filming on Thursday. And then if I have to work on Friday as well, I also don't feel like filming on Friday. So what happens is it becomes Saturday. That's when I film the video. So there's this little lag and it creates kind of like a false scarcity. Yes, the money is there, but the money doesn't have a purpose. It doesn't have a job. So I don't know what I can do with my money yet. I feel it kind of feels like I don't have money, even though I do have money, if that makes any sense at all. And I don't think necessarily anything is wrong. There is a false sense of scarcity. It's just that everything is late. Nothing is happening in the time limit or the time frame that is ideal or the time frame that is supposed to happen. And so that timing delay kind of messes with my head a little bit. In a way, it feels like failure. And when I think about what can I do to fix it, I come back to like, okay, well, if I want to fix the not assigning my money in a timely manner, I could, since I'm off on Wednesdays, I could film for the first paycheck that I get on Tuesday, I could film on Wednesday. But then I'm like, okay, so I film twice a week. Budget with me, that seems really tedious. And really, if I break it down, that lag in assigning my money, budgeting my money, putting it where it needs to go, whether it's my paychecks or whether it's after I've assigned the money in YNAB, which is the software that I use, and actually transferring it to the emergency fund and or the retirement fund, that lag kind of breaks some trust in myself. I really want to be more on top of it. I want to be getting to these things sooner than 4 days later, which is what it ends up being from the check that comes in on Tuesday. Not assigning those funds until 4 days later totally breaks trust with myself. It really does. So what I started doing was paying attention to where the friction actually is. Where is it that the money actually gets stuck? Where does the money exist assigned in my YNAB categories, but it's not usable? It's not in the IRA. Where do those kind of like log jams, is that the right word? Where do those exist? What I need to do, I've realized, is optimize for predictability. I don't need the highest APY on an account. I don't need the most complex system. What I need is for money to move when I expect it to move. I need money to be where I expect it to be when I need it there. And I need my money to be usable. I need it to be doing what it needs to do. I need it to be earning interest. I need it to be invested in the market. I need it to be doing something, not just sitting in my checking account doing nothing. Because when my money is not where it needs to be, what happens in my brain is that I kind of forget about it. I forget that it exists and I forget that action needs to be taken. It's so easy to come and assign money to my 401k, assign it, and then since it's not actually there, just forget about it. And it sits in my checking account, which is not where it needs to be. So like I said, this isn't really a spending problem. What changed isn't how I'm spending or how I felt about spending. It was understanding what was actually causing the stress around my money. And now, understanding that, I'm going to be able to devote less mental energy to something that really is supposed to support my life. I should not be stressing about money. This is supposed to add to my life, not take away. So it's not changing how I spend. It's not buying less matcha lattes, buying less kombucha, which is both of those two things are really like my version of like avocado toast. You know, they don't buy avocado toast. If you buy avocado toast, you'll never own a home. Well, for me, it's don't buy matcha lattes, don't buy kombucha. You'll never own a home. It's not about changing that. It's about changing how my money moves. And once I understood that, I knew that my setup really had to change. And if your money makes sense on paper or on the spreadsheet or on YNAB, wherever it may be, but it still feels harder than it should, this just might be why. Let me know if that resonates with you. It doesn't mean you have a spending problem. It doesn't mean you're bad with money. It might just mean your system isn't working the way your brain does. That realization right there, that it's not that you're bad with money, it might just be that your system doesn't work the way your brain does. That realization changed a lot for me, and it's what led me to change my setup. I know for me, the decisions I needed to make became pretty obvious, and I'll talk about what I changed next.